And the players getting reacquainted prior to the tip. A pretty loose atmosphere out there. The Mavericks are looking to defeat their Western Conference rival going into this game. Wow, the fans making a lot of noise here inside the arena. The Sacramento Kings are getting settled in. You're in for a treat as we bring you NBA basketball on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg with Doris Burke reporting from the sidelines. And presented to you by State Farm, we'll take a quick look here at our opening lineups. One of the guys we'll be watching out for today, the developing DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, there aren't many players with a combination of size and strength and skill as DeMarcus Cousins. He's a great rebounder. He can pass. He can knock down a jump shot. So this kid can do it all. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
I agree, and with his length, you might want him to be more of a shot blocker, Steve, but he's one of the best in the league at taking charges, and that's surprising for a guy of his size.
That was wicked!
Well, I don't know how he got it in his mind to go for that. Very bold to toss the alley-oop to himself there.
But he nailed it, and his teammates are loving it.
I think the first guy I ever saw do that was Tracy McGrady back in an All-Star game years ago. It's a pretty amazing play. Well-contested shot, and they did an excellent job of not fouling the shooter.
Defense is about effort and commitment and discipline. He's a good defender because of those things.
And Cousins with the block. Here's more.
Not sure what he was thinking there. That's embarrassing.
You think? I mean, come on now. Doesn't he realize there's a game going on here?
Ellis, that's good. The Kings have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Cousins dishes to Selmans. Right through the D for the layup. Selmans got his first bucket in this one. And the Mavericks with possession. It's a three-point game. And the pass to Ellis. Dallenberg sets a screen for Ellis. Off target with the open look.
I think he was surprised by how much space he had there and just rushed the shot.
Unbelievable.
Do that.
My word, the one-man alley-oop. I haven't seen many of those. We need to come up with a name for that play, Kevin.
Hey,
Give it a shot.
Yeah, okay. Just call it what it is, Clark. Spectacular.
Works for me.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty well said, Kevin. Such an athletic, spectacular play. You're right.
You look at Nowitzki, guys. Dirk Nowitzki is a steady presence offensively, a real force at that end of the floor. And for defense and trying to deal with him, you can try whatever you want to, but he's going to find the way to get off his shots. He's 7 feet tall, has tremendous range, and really crafty in knowing how to position himself for opportunity.
And the jam by Carl Landry.
What a play. No regular dunk there. A superb alley-oop.
And it was a great pass, too, to set him up.
No, those two have such a great feel for each other. They're just fun to watch play together.
McLemore, the pass to Selmans. And taken away by Ellis. Calderon kicks to Ellis. He kicks it to Dallenberg. Cousins is there. Here's Nowitzki. They get it again. And it's good. Terrific work on the offensive glass to make that one work. Nowitzki's got his second basket. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Kevin, a short time ago, Keith Smart and I were able to catch up. One struggle they'll have in this game is finding the right person or combination of players to match up with Dirk. The problem, Coach says, is how do you play someone who can hit jumpers at such a high release point while being quick enough to stay with Dirk when he drives? We'll see if they've come up with any answers, guys.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Marion dishes to Dallenberg. Well, it was only a matter of time, but they finally get the bucket.
I'll tell you what, right now, that mid-range jumper serving them well.
Yes, it is, guys. That's 6 of their last 10 points coming from that mid-range area.
The Mavericks have gone 6 of 14 shooting the ball since the start of the game. Feeds it to Nowitzki. High post try. Buries the jump shot. Nowitzki's got 6.
Well, they've done a lot of their damage from mid-range here, guys. I mean, knocking down those shots with regularity.
Yeah, how about 8 of their last 10 points, guys, coming off that mid-range area jump shot. So, shows you don't have to be at the rim to score.
The Mavericks have gone 7 of 15 from the field to this point. Calderon passes to Ellis. Pulls up on the wing. Can't get it to go. And it's the Kings taking it the other way.
They are setting the tone here early with their work on the board.
Yeah, only a moderate advantage here, a slight one, but as the game wears on, it's one they'll definitely look to build on.
Out of bounds, Dallas takes possession.
That's not what they needed there, that's for sure.
And it's a completely new group on the floor for the Mavericks. The Mavericks shooting 39% in the early minutes of this game.
How about the irony for the Kings last year? They draft Jimmer Fredette high in the first round, and then they get Isaiah Thomas with the last pick in the draft, and it turns out that Thomas is the one who ends up taking over the starting point guard role.
You know, it is really hard to miss shots that close to the basket.
1:19 left here in the opening quarter. Kicks to right. And the officials call a traveling violation. And for the Kings, a team just doing everything they can do to find a difference maker on the floor, and they could care less that they found their point guard late in the draft, early in the draft. They just wanted to find a point guard.
Well, if you have game, it will travel and will show through. And with Jimmer and Thomas manning the backcourt, the Kings have some pretty good talent in those two players that can give them different looks at the point guard spot.
Stolen by Thompson. Vasquez kicks to Thompson. Vasquez, now the feed to Thompson. Beyond the arc. And the basket good. He's got 11.
My goodness, he's going off in this quarter. He's got the guys on the bench going crazy. Rally towels and all.
Harris dishes to Carter. Backs down. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, Carter's got his first points of the game. Vasquez passes to Hayes. Working on Blair. Puts up the baby hook. And the Kings check on two more.
That time the defenders were a little lazy getting to him.
Harris outside. Passes it to Carter. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here.
You know, even from here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty obvious. And a good call by the official.
The Mavericks shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one.
And they averaged about 77% from the free throw line a year ago. So this is a solid free throw shooting team.
And you can't take those numbers lightly, fellas. I mean, their free throw shooting made a difference for them in a lot of their games last season.
Isaiah Thomas, he's checked in for Vasquez. Wayne Ellington's checked in for the Mavericks. Carter hits them both. Kings leading now by 3. Pass to Salmons. He feeds it to Thompson. Outside Thomas. Here's the 3. And another 3 for Sacramento. And here we go with Devin Harris. Looking for his first bucket of the game. Out to Carter. Got it off in time, but it's no good. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Kings lead by 6. Live from Sacramento, you're watching 2K Sports. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. The Kings on top, leading by 6.
Well, the thing they tried to establish right away was the presence down low. You look at the points in the paint. I think that's been the difference.
Yeah, and I like the fact, Steve, that they're not settling for the outside shots. I mean, go in there and get what you want. Keep attacking the rim.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the floor for Dallas, Devin Harris is out there with Ellis. Then there's Blair. Then it's Brandon Wright. And it's Carter in at the 3.
Well, he loves to mix it up. And keep an eye on him when he's in the paint. He just battles everybody. Very physical rebounder. It's so tough to move down there. And if the ball's on the floor, he's the first one who's going to hit the deck.
And something else he does that I know is underrated and undervalued is he sets very hard screens. Those screens are a real key component of a lot of the plays they run.
Jose Calderon. He's checked in for Dallas. Both free throws good from Blair.
And you have to give the ownership a lot of credit for the Mavs' success over the years, guys. A lot of people may not agree with things he has to say, but you can't argue with the success that he's had. He spends money, his resources, he's put a ton of passion and energy building the franchise, and it's developed into one of the best in the entire league.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hi, guys. Well, it's interesting to hear about how Dirk Nowitzki's game has developed in the NBA. He said, when I first came in, I was basically a spot-up shooter. And when people switched the screens, they took my jumper away, and then my game was nothing. So I had to work every offseason on off-the-dribble moves and at least getting comfortable in the post where I can turn over both shoulders. So it's been a piece of work, and I'm going to keep working till it's over. Kevin, he's turned himself into a formidable player.
Thanks, Doris.
Tremendous dedication to the game. It's great to remember just how far he's come.
Here's Thompson, and the shot is good. And the Kings lead by 8. You talk about passionate ownership on the sideline, actively involved in crafting the roster and the fan experience. You don't get much better than Dallas. From the top all the way down, it's all about winning and not afraid to push for what's best for the NBA.
And I think he wants the best for his players, too, and that's why, as a player, you've got to love, admire, and respect that. You know that he wants to win just as much as you do. It's easy to go the extra mile and commit to a team where that's the case coming from ownership.
And the Kings making a change here. And Baamute's checked in. And some changes here for the Mavericks. Inside. Here's Marion. Good. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far.
You know, Sean Marion still is an amazing athlete, even in his mid-30s. So quick off his feet, and he can play either the 3 or the 4 position. Versatile defender, excellent team player.
Crowder, he's checked in for Dallenberg. Outside for Thomas. Kings moving the ball around. And Baamute can't get it to go. Mavericks trailed by 9. Number 3. Tries again. No good on the layup. The Kings have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. And Hayes kicks to Thomas. Buries the easy one. Thomas got 5 now.
And guys, I think the key for Marion being able to play the 3 or 4 position is he's a terrific rebounder for a small forward. So you can play him at the 4 in a small ball situation and not lose too much on the glass. That's valuable when you've got a small forward that rebounds like a power forward. Beautiful finesse move right there. I mean, you've got to love that finger roll finish.
And that one's good. He has 7.
Points in the paint have been the main course, or main entree, if you will. They just keep pounding it inside.
Well, they're seeing no resistance defensively in the paint area, so the defense has got to be tougher.
Harris kicks to Marion. Over Thompson. Shot denied. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Mavericks trailed by 11. Pass to Crowder. And Baamute pulls it in. Kings have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. Thomas dishes to Thompson. To the paint. The shot's good from Hayes.
3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, you'd like to see a little more out of the defense. How about trying, guys?
The Kings shooting their first free throw of the game.
And, you know, whenever they get into a stretch where it looked like maybe they would turn it around at the line, they would immediately take a step back.
That free throw good from Hayes.
Well, it's an interesting year, to say the least, for the Kings last season. Keith Smart took over as head coach, did a pretty decent job of righting the ship. But Sacramento has struggled for years now. They've got some good young talent, but it's very young. This is a raw ball club. They've got to start to add some veterans, get some stability with their organization, with their situation in the city of Sacramento, and within their roster. So a lot of work ahead for the Kings.
Dishes it to Thornton. Lets it go from deep. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Thomas got 3 assists in the game. Harris against Thomas. There's the dish to Blair.
It's 2 fouls now here in the first half, so we'll see if they let him try to play through it.
Going back to the Kings, you said, Steve, even though the Kings struggle to find wins, they at least got on the same page between the players and the coaching staff, and I think that's always a step in the right direction.
Without question, partner. I mean, you can get away with some headbutting as a team when you're winning games, but it's the last thing you need if you're struggling and trying to build. You know, the West can be a real difficult conference to navigate. And even though they were coming off a title run, the Mavericks had a lot of trouble finishing over 500 within the conference.
And you see it with the West. The first step is just to make it into the playoffs, which the Mavs did. And once there, they felt that anything can happen. Unfortunately, they got swept. But, Steve, I guess that was the thing about last year, just getting healthy into the playoff picture.
Yeah, but what was interesting about that sweep against Oklahoma City, Kevin, was that Dallas really should have won the first 2 games on the road in Oklahoma City. But close games, close losses, and then everything sort of slipped away from there.
Dallas calls timeout.
Last season was the 6th straight, Kevin, where the Kings failed to make the playoffs, and really they haven't been in postseason contention for any of those 6 years.
You're right, 6 years, but it seems much longer than that for some reason, doesn't it, for the Kings? They're so used to making the playoffs in the years leading up to this drought.
Well, prior to that, Kevin, they had made the playoffs 8 consecutive years before this 6-year drought. So, boy, it's been a strange run for Sacramento, some ups and downs, and let's hope they can get this thing turned back in the right direction.
Here's what Sacramento's going with right now. DeMarcus Cousins, he's checked in for Hayes. Patterson comes in for Jason Thompson. Travis Outlaw's checked in for Mbaamuti. And it's Vasquez in for Marcus Thornton. Vasquez, that's good. Mavericks trail by 16.
And Rick Carlisle, head coach of the Mavericks, actually coached previously in Detroit and Indiana. And, you know, he won the Coach of the Year in his very first season as a head coach, 2002 with Detroit.
And that one's good.
That's how you exploit that defense. Take the ball right to the basket.
The Kings shooting wonderfully up to this point, 67%. Calderon kicks to Ellis.
Oh, my goodness. What a huge play.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, the D pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
yes,
you?
Sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me, that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
That was embarrassing.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. He dishes it to Dallenberg. Wright drops in the layup for 2.
Made that one look easy, didn't they?
There's 37 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Vasquez passes to Cousins. Gives him the lead pass. Vasquez can't get it to go.
Well, what appeared to be an easy 2 points just never materialized.
Carter. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. 10 points for Vince Carter. Vasquez dishes to Thomas. Number 9. And it's blocked. And here we go. The Mavericks in a fast break.
Good foul there defensively. Make him earn 2 points from the line.
I agree with you. I mean, no freebies. Don't give anybody an easy opportunity. Make good use of your foul there.
Just 4 seconds left here in the second. No good there, and that would have cut it to single digits. And that concludes the first half. The kick.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
This is 2K Sports. I hope your week is off to a good start on this Monday. Out in Sacramento, the Kings are taking care of business against Dallas. Offensively, they've been in a zone. A lot of great team play, providing looks from all over the floor. They've gotten some great minutes out of Chuck Hayes. He's got 7 points and is also sharing the ball, picking up assists as well.
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. Travis Outlaw out there with Patrick Patterson. Then it's Isaiah Thomas. Then it's Vasquez. And it's Cousins in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the 5 out there for the Kings.
Well, the question for DeMarcus Cousins has never been talent. It's just about maturity and consistency. Early last season with Sacramento, there were reports that he had asked the Kings organization for a trade. They responded by basically telling him he needed to grow up. But what was encouraging was that he really played better as the season went along. He's got a ton of talent. If he could ever put it together, he could be an all-star.
Free throw good, Vasquez. And you go back to Cousins last season. He improved his scoring and Clark his rebound.
And I think he started to really take better advantage of his strength inside, Kevin. He has a lot of skill to do a lot of different things as an inside player. But his size, strength, and good hands make him special.
McLemore's checked in for the Kings. Nowitzki. And it's Sacramento with the rebound. Cousins has got his 3rd rebound on the night. And taken away by Ellis. The pass to Calderon. Shoots over Cousins. Calderon, no good.
This is not the start to the second half they wanted. Coming out shooting just 1 of 4.
Very sad to see where this Sacramento franchise has gone kind of the last 4 or 5 seasons, guys. Remember the heyday back in the early 2000s when they had Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, Stojakovic, and they filled up the building every night back then. We'll see if they can ultimately get it rolling again here in Sacramento.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Nowitzki inside. Trips down the breakaway slam.
And some instant offense coming for them after that steal.
Yeah, that's terrific, beautiful transition basketball. No chance at all for the defense to get back and set up.
Steve, that old team you were talking about, those old Kings teams, that was incredible how they played. In fact, I remember the commissioner, Clark David Stern, said, we would love if the entire league played with that kind of flair and flamboyance and passion that that Kings team of that era played with. They were so fun to watch.
They really worked. That's one of my favorite teams, the way they played. They came close to knocking off the Lakers in the Western Finals, and they really were one of my favorite teams to watch. It shows, Kevin, that you can have and sustain a winning team in a small market like Sacramento.
And the Mavericks call time here.
You know, guys, one of the reasons Dallas did not re-sign Tyson Chandler last year was they wanted to preserve some cap space. And they had Dwight Howard in mind, but Dallas has had to use their cap space elsewhere. But, you know, the key was just developing enough flexibility to give them a lot of different options. And I think that's always a factor for any NBA team.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Chuck Hayes, he's checked in for Cousins. Thompson comes in for Patrick Patterson. And it's Selman's in for Travis Outlaw. He kicks to Hayes. It's stolen by Calderon. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Here's Nowitzki. It's rebounded by McLemore. Dallas, to me, Steve, always seems a team very mindful of upcoming free agents and cap space restrictions. One of the reasons why they made the moves last year. Even if, Clark, they don't get a big name, they always seem to be in the mix somewhere.
Well, they're always hovering around. Hammer time! Tell you what, he's not going to win any high jump competition, so it's a good thing he doesn't have to go too far to get to the rim.
I'm not sure he could, or any of us could slip a piece of paper under him when he takes off.
It doesn't matter much, though, Kevin, because he's such a big man. I mean, if he gets positioned, forget about it.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. Brandon Wright's checked in for Dallenberg. And it's Carter in for Sean Mary. Selmans kicks to Vasquez. An absolute bomb from three-point range. Vasquez has got 10. Ellis with it. He's got 8. Count that one. Here's McLemore. They lead by 7. Throws up the alley-oop. And it's Ellis with the rebound.
That would have been a nice alley-oop there.
Well, you got to love the effort, though. Almost showtime.
Monte Ellis is a tremendously talented guard. Only one playoff appearance in his 7 NBA seasons, and it's been frustrating for him. He's a guy who's put up some big numbers, but I'm sure he'd like to see more playoff success in his future.
And it's a completely new group on the floor for the Mavericks. Here's Harris. A shot no good. Now Sacramento takes it the other way. At one point, they led by 16. Thompson, a screen on Harris. And Hayes kicks to Vasquez. Here's Harris. Number 3. Shot is blocked. Now here's Hayes. Not a lot of room. Cuts off the pass. And here's the break. Number 3. And yes, sir, that one drops. Leading now, and Steve mentioned moderation of the being able to win a championship, a division title, or just be above 500, on a consistent base. But he's really worked on, not wearing all those emotions on his sleeves. Just stay positive, to be a good leader.
Yeah, to be a little even-keeled, make sure dedication to the team is uppermost in his mind, and being patient as well as being for excellence. That's a delicate line to walk. He's making progress in doing that.
Mavericks by 5. To the inside. Here's Crowder.
Chuck Hayes.
It's his first trip to the line.
Jay Crowder. 2 shots.
First free throw is good. DeMarcus Cousins, he's checked in for Duck Hayes. Mavericks making a switch here. That misses, so he splits the free throws.
This game very well could come down to a few possessions, and if that's the case, rebounding could play large.
Yeah, in a close game like this one, securing the ball is so vital.
Ellis. Blocked. Selman's against Calderon. Here's Vasquez, and that one's good. Vasquez has got 7 points for the quarter.
Boy, he's been good offensively tonight. I really like what I've seen.
Because the Kings had the athletes to get up and down the floor, that's what they tried to do last season, run and gun with teams. And, it makes sense when you consider their personnel and the youth of that team.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Nowitzki's checked in. We've got 1:08 left in the third.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup.
Vasquez kicks to Selmans. Thompson, a screen on Marion. McLemore. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. He's got 13. And the Kings, as you said, played Clark up-tempo, led the league in shot attempts per game, Steve. So it wasn't for a fear of shooting. They just weren't hitting.
Yeah, they're definitely not afraid to shoot. Yeah, but these guys let it fly. But what they've got to do is be smarter with their possessions and be more selective with their attempts. And that will come as they grow together, as long as they make that commitment to sharing the basketball.
Hits the bucket. 13 points for Nowitzki.
Something has to change, guys. That's 10 straight points coming in the paint against this team.
Well, they got to collapse in there, and everybody's got to be conscious of it. It's a team effort in protecting the paint. Control the ball, and then everybody's got to get in there and keep the defense locked down.
For 3, Ellis. It's hauled in by the Kings. Vasquez has got 6 rebounds now in the game. McLemore. And that's not going to go. And that's it for the third quarter. Both teams scoring well as we head to the fourth.
65.
Kings lead by 8. And fourth. As the fourth quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke to find out who's had the Sprite Uncontainable Game. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. And it's the Kings with the Uncontainable Game Award for the offensive stretch they put together. They put on a show at the defensive end, most of their heroics coming in that second period. It's easy to build a lead like this one when you play great defense.
Thank you, Doris. And how many times, guys, do we see a run like this become the difference maker in the outcome of a game?
Well, that usually is the case, Kevin, when one team can get on a run like they did, where they just feel so dominant offensively. More often than not, that's going to be the difference in the game.
And in this game, even at the very beginning of that run, you could sense the momentum getting ready to take a huge swing. And swing it did, fellas. Swing it did.
On the floor for Dallas starting the fourth quarter here. Dirk Nowitzki down low with Brandon Wright. Devin Harris is out there with Ellis. And it's Carter in at the three. Shots good by McLemore.
Offensively just hammering away in the paint.
And that's 10 straight points inside, too.
Mavericks making a switch here. Here's Ellis. He passes to Calderon. Back to Ellis. Unloads from 13. The shot's good on the assist by Calderon. Calderon's got his 8th assist in the game. It's Salmon's on the wing. From past the arc. But they get it back. And Cousins kicks to Thompson. Finds himself wide open and drills it. And the Kings lead by 11.
Another board for them, and they've got a huge advantage in that regard.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise. I mean, rebounding one of the true barometers in winning basketball games. And if you rebound better, you typically are going to win ball games and do it comfortably. Boy, they've been getting a lot of their points on those mid-range jumpers.
Yeah, that's a shot that can come and go. Not an easy shot, but they're doing a nice job knocking them down.
And the Mavericks call time here.
Brandon Wright was the number 8 overall pick back in 2007, coming out of North Carolina. Didn't play a lot for the Warriors, but he's always been productive in limited minutes. The question with him is he's strong enough to play a major role. At this point, just a good, solid backup.
And, you know, talking about Brandon Wright, he's done a lot of functional strength training, trying to engage his core, that area between your kneecaps and your sternum. He's got his weight up to 230 pounds now, and that added muscle, I think, will help him compete physically night in and night out and make him more of an effective player.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Rick Carlisle was going over with his team in that last huddle. He was emphatic. We're not getting it done, fellas. We've simply got to step up, get engaged, and try to battle back. Guys, we'll see if the pep talk gets them going.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Nowitzki's checked in. Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Offensive rebound.
And that's the way it's been. A big margin for them in the rebounding category.
You know, sometimes you got to get down and dirty and do the dirty work. And in this one, they've done it, and it's paid off on the scoreboard in a big way.
Mavericks trailed by 12. Now here's Calderon. It's a look. And there's Dirk Nowitzki on the assist by Calderon. 15 points for Nowitzki.
Boy, he really used his height there.
He sure did, Steve. I mean, a nice touch on that shot. Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
And that one's good.
It's been a great day for him from the field, but his team still trailing.
Feeds it to Selmans. Puts up a three. Mavericks with the rebound. And here's Calderon. Kicks it to Dallenberg. Three-pointer. And there's Dirk Nowitzki on the assist by Dallenberg. Dallenberg's got 3 assists now in this one. It's tipped. Nowitzki with the steal. Here's Ellis. Foul call. Looked like the D didn't get there in time, and he'll shoot free throw.
Some good numbers for Ellis. 12 points and 2 steals. He's showing us those quick hands today, both when he has the ball and when he doesn't.
Yeah, he's really distributed well on the offensive side, and then ball hawking defensively. He's been impressive.
That's good from Ellis. Sean Marion, he's checked in for the Mavericks. And Ellis drops them both.
Well, I think the key for Monte Ellis is what role he's in. If you put him in a scorer's role where you just need him to produce, I think he's perfect. If you need him to run your team and be a point guard, he can do it on occasion. But I don't think that's really his best role over the course of the season.
He's going to take that shot every time if he has that much room to get it off.
Ellis off a pick from Dallenberg. Nowitzki for 3. And it's John Selmans with the rebound. Selmans got rebound number 5 here tonight. We talked about Monte blending in offensively. He's a good passer, averaged over 5 assists a game for multiple years. Last season, Clarkey was top 15 in that category in the NBA.
Yeah, but make no mistake about it, Kevin. What he is most and foremost is a scorer. That's what he does. He puts the ball in the basket. You look at his assist ratio, the percentage of his possessions that end in assist, he was ranked around 100th in the league. So scoring is what he does and what he does best. He got that one, but he hasn't been producing the way we're accustomed to. He needs to look for a shot a bit more.
Nowitzki outside from 13. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. 22 points for Nowitzki. Kings leading now by 6. Selmans passes to Cousins. Into Jason Thompson. Passes to McLemore. From deep. Out to Thompson. The feed now to Selmans. McLemore drains the three-pointer. 22 points for him.
Boy, he's putting up big numbers in that three-point column, guys.
Dallas calls timeout. A completely new group on the floor for the Kings. Mavericks trail by 9. Ellis kicks to Nowitzki. Backing in. Ellis, a 3-ball. Here's Dallenberg using his post move to get the 2 points.
Nice putback. That's why you want guys working hard on the boards at both ends of the floor.
Money shot. A minute 50 left to play in the final quarter. He feeds it to Ellis. Shot on the wing. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Dirk Nowitzki. And now it's only a 5-point Kings lead. A leaner. Thomas. Good.
The defense that time didn't do quite enough. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to stop him when he gets in tight.
Down low. And there's Ellis. That's good on the assist by Calderon. 20 points for Ellis.
Wow, you really have to sit back and admire what this guy's doing for his team right now. They're down, yet he stepped it up and he's delivering.
The shot by Marion, no good. Kings leading now by 5. Thomas dishes to Moore. Back to Thomas. And Ba'amute. He's guarded by Ellis. A jump hook. Second shot opportunity. And it's sent back by Nowitzki. Calderon kicks to Ellis. Pass to Nowitzki. Over Mba'amute. Money! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
He's really shouldering the load for his team right now. That's what leadership is about. He's looking to help his team cut into this deficit.
And the basket by Thornton. Dallas calls timeout. They're behind by 5. 46 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. .46 seconds left in the game. D'Alembert covered by Hayes. Now Calderon on the wing. Ellis. Nowitzki sets a screen for Ellis. D'Alembert connects. What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
The defense really has to pick it up here, guys. They allowed themselves to get picked too easily.
Moore passes to Mba'amute. Here's Thomas. Bangs home the trifecta. And the Kings lead by 6.
They're looking good here, adding to this lead.
Yeah, time winding down here, the score and the clock clearly in their favor.
Dallas calls timeout. They're losing by 6. 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. What do you think, guys?
I think they have to go for a 3 right now, don't you, Clark?
Yeah, I don't think they have any choice but to go for the 3, Steve.
15 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And it's blocked. But they'll get another chance. Here's Nowitzki.
Blocking foul. Called on Chuck Hayes. That's his fourth personal. Second team.
5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Calderon. No good. So the Kings win it. Both teams played well, but these guys had the end.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said.